Public resources and local ballot question elections. Guidance for local officials. OCPF is frequently asked about the extent to which public officials may act or speak in support of or in opposition to a question submitted to voters. In general, officials may undertake various actions that concern ballot questions. Permitted actions include voicing opinions, holding or attending meetings, and providing information to the public in limited situations. Officials should not, however, use public resources to engage in a campaign to influence voters concerning a ballot question. Who's a public official? Officials are appointed public employees and elected officials. For example, public officials are school administrators, town managers, police and fire chiefs, library directors, mayors and DPW directors. You've been introduced to the idea that public resources may not be used for a political purpose. Let's dive into the specifics. Public officials most frequently violate the public resources rules by distributing unsolicited communications. Prohibited communications include informational materials distributed unsolicited using public resources. Examples of prohibited communications. A school superintendent sends a blast email to parents, providing objective information about the upcoming ballot question to build a new school. A town manager sends an unsolicited mailing to residents about a tax override ballot question. The prohibition on distribution applies whether the material advocates for or against a question, or simply purports to be objective and factual. Exception. Massachusetts state law allows communities to distribute objective information about a ballot question. If the governing body in your community adopts the provisions of MGL Chapter 53, Section 18b. The communication permitted by Section 18b is similar to the Red Book the state issues for statewide ballot questions. Public officials may act or speak regarding ballot questions in a number of ways without violating the campaign finance law. Public officials may discuss a ballot question, including at meetings of a governmental entity or at informational meetings of private groups. Public officials may take a position on a ballot question. Public officials may provide copies of the agency's analysis of a ballot question to individuals attending public meetings. Public officials may hold an informational forum, participate in a forum held by a private group, and distribute a time, date, and place notice of the forum using public resources. Public officials may speak with the media about a ballot question. Public officials may post information about a ballot question on a government website. Information posted to the website should not appear to resemble a political campaign, such as a "Vote Yes" banner. Public officials may allow private groups and political committees to use a public building for ballot question meetings and events, so long as there is no fundraising, and equal access is given to all. Public officials may appear on local cable access television, even during work hours if the ballot question issue falls within the official's scope of responsibility. Public officials may distribute information advising voters of a ballot question election, limited to the time, date, and place of the election, and a brief description. Prior to distributing such a notice, such as a robocall, please check with the state's Ethics Commission for their guidance. Public officials may use a newsletter to provide a link to a web page that provides information about ballot question elections. Public officials may not use a newsletter mailed or emailed to recipients using public resources to distribute information or advocacy regarding a ballot question. Some ballot questions, such as debt exclusions and Proposition 2.5, also involve review by town meeting in the weeks and months prior to, or shortly after, an election. The campaign finance law does not regulate expenditures of public funds made for the purpose of lobbying town meeting, if not designed to influence voters at an election. Municipal officials are not restrained from using public resources to distribute information regarding a warrant article to residents prior to a town meeting, as long as the material is distributed primarily to influence town meeting. The communication should not mention the election. Any city or town that makes an expenditure or used public resources to influence the vote on any question submitted to the voters must file a report with the local election official disclosing such activity. The form used is the 22A. This is the bottom portion of Form 22A. For example, a town manager decides to put a time, date, and place advertisement in the newspaper, inviting residents to a presentation concerning a tax override. The cost of the ad would be disclosed on the 22A form. There are limited circumstances in which groups supporting or opposing ballot questions may use public resources, usually concerning public property and buildings. Equal access means that a group supporting or opposing a ballot question may be allowed to use a room or other space in a public building for a meeting, as long as a group on the opposing side is given the opportunity, on request, to have a similar meeting, on the same terms and conditions. The Vote Yes ballot question committee sets up a table in the lobby of the public library to provide information to visitors. That is permitted if a group that opposes the ballot question is also able to set up a table under the same terms and conditions. If public resources can't be used, how do voters get information? Private funds. Campaigns are funded and conducted by ballot question committees and private groups. Ballot question committees may raise unlimited funds to pay for lawn signs, mailings, social media advertisements, and other communications to inform voters. Public employees may work for a ballot question committee on their own time, but may not raise money for the committee. Public resources may not be used to support or oppose a position on a ballot question. Public officials may distribute information if the provisions of MGL Chapter 53, Section 18b are followed. Campaigning for a ballot question should be conducted by ballot question committees and private groups.